the area of the masjid. So please try and get involved. This is exciting times, okay? Because although we can't physically get involved in da'wah, but if you can get involved in any way in supporting new Muslims, then this will help immensely. About 70%, would you believe, 70% of new Muslims who become Muslims go back to their old ways. You know why? Anyone know why?
No.
Because of you and me. We turn these people away. We don't allow them to come to the mosque, we don't help them, because they face a lot of problems. We're very lucky we're born into Muslim families. We have a lot of support. We have friends. We have our communities. Who do they have? They've got nobody. Their families will turn them away. You know, their parents will turn them away. Their jobs will be sacrificed. So many things against them. So that's why it's very important. And there was a big study in the Independent, and this is what they found. Although there's about 5,000 new Muslims every year in the UK, mostly women, but what happens, these people do not have the support. So in Abdullah Quilliam's fashion, in his style, we should really get involved in da'wah work. No matter what you can do, take him to your house, feed him, give him a cup of tea, talk to him. You know, this is what they need. They need friendship, they need help, inshallah. So here you go, Brother Hamid.
Alhamdulillah, today we have a very special guest. This is Dr. Hamid already explained a few more about Brother Philip. So we have Brother Philip Preston here. He was a devoted Christian, Catholic, before he embraced Islam about 3 weeks ago, and now he's starting to learn Islam a bit more. And I'm hoping that all brothers here, and if find this white guy, please give him help. And if he has any question, ask any question, just help him. So I'll pass the microphone now to Brother Philip, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. My name's Phil. My journey to find Islam was being 3 weeks ago I was a Christian, and now look at me, you know. My journey to find Islam has been very painful. I was being brought up as a Catholic, and my family went through every step to make sure that I didn't know any other faith. I was abused by this very church, what was taking care of me for the first 11 years of my life. But although I knew they were men of God, I did not embrace. I did believe that Allah was true, but I didn't believe that none of them was men of God. Still, I kept my eyes focused on Allah. I become a very family-oriented person. My family suffered with a grave illness, and in the past 2 years I've buried every one of them, 17 members, my mother, my father, my brothers, my sisters, and unfortunately enough I buried my little son in January. I'm alone in this world. I used to teach Bible study at a church, at a Christian church, and I become lost, and I become a bare-knuckle fighter. My family needed medical support and mortgages and stuff like that, and I was the only one that was able to work. I've been lost for a long time, and I've been told in my church we're not to mention Islam, is to mention the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was a grave sin. About 2 years ago, I received my pack from the Christian church to help me progress and help people to become more Christian. He sent me 5 versions of the Bible, and I stood there, and I stood up in front of the church, and I was a guest speaker, because with burying my entire family and still keeping my eyes on Allah, they thought I was a miracle, that most people would run a million miles away, but I never. And halfway through the talk, I got the 5 versions of the Bible, and I told them that this is not true, that Jesus Christ was not the Son of God. And I said, the evidence is right in front of you. There's 5 Bibles, there can't be 5 versions of the truth, there's only one version of the truth. And I was made a scapegoat from the church, and, I've been a very lonely guy. Unfortunately, my time on this earth is very short, because I also have the illness which killed my entire family, and time's running out for me. But on the 25th of this month, I walked without knowing where I was going for 11.9 miles. Didn't know where I was going, what I was doing. I'm in Greyville, and I had to stop every couple of 100 yards to catch my breath. I walked into Liverpool Town Centre, and I hadn't been there for 14 years. And I looked to my right, and then it became apparent why Allah spoke to me in the morning and told me to walk 11.9 miles in certain heat when I'm not supposed to walk 100 yards. And it was the store for Islam. And everything just become real to me. And at 10 past 10 that morning, I was a practicing Christian that used to educate people on how to become Christian. By 5 past 1 that afternoon, I was a Muslim. I mean, no one, I've never set eyes on the Quran. I've never read the Quran. The only thing I've known about Islam is what you see in the media, a book of hate. I mean, they give me the book. I sat down, read 2 pages and stood up and said, how do I become a Muslim? They said, you take the Shahada. But the store next to it was the church, what had abandoned me, what had left me to bury my entire family on my own. He told me my son could not enter the kingdom of heaven because he wasn't baptised. Now, I lost my son. You'd think that was the worst thing in the world, but not knowing where your son is in the afterlife is the most painful, crushing experience that I've ever known in my life. The guy told me on the store, he said, Phil, brother, you've been a Muslim your whole, because I've never had pork, I've never got a tattoo, and I've never drank. And I told them that. And they said, my friend, you've been a Muslim your entire life, but you've never known it. But the store next door was my church, the church that forbid me. Now in 2 years, they watched me bury my father, then my mother, then my brother, then my brother, then my sister, then my sister, then my other sister, then my nephew, my niece, and then my son. And he never, ever, ever even give me a card to say, we're with your brother. But after that, I took the Shahada, I've been bombarded with phone calls. How can we help you? How can we help you? And I said, I needed your help 2 years ago. I said, the only help I need off you now is to leave me alone. I said, because I have teach the Bible, all versions, I have shielded people from the truth, which is the Quran. I've prevented people from reading the Quran on your say-so. I said, I've found the truth now, so now what you need to do is leave me alone. I'm going to speak a little bit about what I've seen with my own eyes. I've been in a situation where I'm too ill to work and I've lost my job. I never had enough money for food, no electric, no gas. I've sat in the dark since Christmas. I've sat in with no food. Since I've met you guys, I've never gone without a meal. I've never ever gone without a bit of electricity. People are phoning me each day and sending me messages. Now, people may take that for granted, a 10p message. But brothers, I'm living with the death of my entire family on my own. I have no friends, I have no family. The Brotherhood of Muslims stood up and being counted for, where I was told that Muslims, they hate people. Islam is a book of hate, it prophesies hate. I don't see that. Now, we're in the month of Ramadan, the month of giving, where people are given and give next to blessings. But I've seen this with Christians, the 12 days of Christmas. They believe that if they give for 12 days and help their fellow neighbour, then their path to heaven is clear. But Allah does not work like that. Allah, imagine the world if Allah only worked for 12 days a year, or 1 month of a year in the month of Ramadan. We have, as the month of Ramadan comes to the end, we have to keep giving. This mosque needs it. People need charity. I have been and seen what charity can do or lack of charity can do. This mosque was the first mosque that was done by a revert. Now I know very little about Quilliam, but I have been bombarded with threatening messages, letters through me to all fellow Christians, threatening me about Islam and stuff like that. So I can't imagine what Brother Quilliam went through all them years ago, when it was punishable by death to change and go, you know, people would have stoned you to death in Liverpool to turn into Islam. I mean, but in the space of 3 weeks, I've lost everything, every contact I've had. Even the nurses what take care of me, my home are frowning upon me. I'm going to a Muslim retreat in next month to help me progress in Islam. And the nurses were saying to me, your radicalisation is beginning. And I just laughed at them, you know, and just said, this is pathetic. You know, and I've actually got, so the head pastor of the church said to me, Phil, you're one of the most wisest men I've known. You've never gone into anything without reading it through, and you've jumped into Islam this quick. He knocked at my door a few days ago and asked me for a copy of the Quran. He said, Phil, he said, if this is what you're reading, I want to see what it's like. So he phoned me a few days ago and said, I'm going to speak to my wife and tell her what's the next step. So, you know, people need this, the Quran, people need the Quran, because without that, I wouldn't be here. I would not know my son was in paradise. I would not know about Islam and brotherhood. I was seriously ill last week, and the ambulance come and the doctors come, and the ambulance people didn't know that I'd buried all my family. And he said to me, can we phone any of your family? I said, you haven't got enough credit for 1.6 billion people. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, I've joined Islam. I said, this is all my brothers and sisters now, and you know, I'm getting like 15, 20 texts a day. That's a lot for me. But this mosque will not prosper just by giving to the month of Ramadan. We have to continue it. I've made it I spoke to the imam before. I have no money, but I will have some money in a couple of weeks. And I'm going to make sure that this mosque gets so much money. Because the Christians, before I come to the Christians, they made me sign 10% of all my earnings over every week, you know, for the law. We don't ask for that. Even if you just give £1 a week, that's £52 a year. Everyone here gives it. This mosque is going to prosper by the end of the year. This mosque will be up and running perfectly. Because after all, this is a house of Allah. Allah gives us everything 365 days a year. So we should give everything to him 365 days a year, not just through the month of Ramadan. Thank you for your time, and I hope I've shed a bit of light, and thank you for welcoming me into the biggest family in the world. Thank you.
Some hugs, brothers, come on.